We're going to practice doing some light fixtures today, and I'm going to start with the chandelier. So you're going to need your 20 or 30% gray, goldenrod or Y325 depending on what markers you have, and your dark brown pencil. I'm starting with the goldenrod, and I'm just going to make some lines. And I'm going to go in with my gray. And see, I'm just alternating. I'm going to go back in with my goldenrod and give myself the little sparkly beads on the goldenrod lines that I made. All right. I'm going to take my dark brown pencil, and I'm going to just give a little outline to some of the little dots that I made. Make them look like they're turned on a little bit by doing that. You don't have to do all of them. If you can hear giggling in the background, it's because we've got Zoom meetings going on and me making videos and whatnot. That's this age, isn't it? So I'm not fully making a contour line around these. I'm just doing like half of one because we don't want to make it so graphic. All right, I'm going to take my black pencil. No, I'm going to do it with dark brown. Sorry. I'll just do this. And then, again, without fully contouring, just define a few edges to give it a little bit of a punch up. Never fully contour when you're trying to do perspective. It makes it look flat and all your hard work will be diminished. So I would recommend that you draw your light sources first, because if you try and draw it over whatever background color you have, you're not going to get the desired effect. But I'll just show you another thing you can do with this. I'm not asking you to do this because I don't know what colored background you're going to have, but let's just say you've got kind of a dark gray wall behind there. You can then, if you have one, or you can use mine when we're back in class, take your gel pen and give yourself some more sparkles that kind of show up on the background. Again, they won't show up a whole lot here, but that's how you can kind of make sparkles happen. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the drum light. Oh no, I was gonna tell you this. So I used goldenrod to make kind of a golden chandelier, but I was playing around with a bunch of colors. You could do it with all grays. You could try it with pink or whatever color chandelier you're trying to make. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the drum light, where you're gonna need 50% gray, your colorless blender, Deco yellow or Y411, black and white pencils, and your yellow ochre pencil. All right, so I'm gonna try and make this look like it's a white shade. So in order to do that, I need to develop grays, right? So I'm just gonna I want this to feel like it curves. So I'm just gonna not outline the whole thing, because we don't do that, but I'm gonna make it seem like it's fading back. And remember, where you first put your marker down, that's where the most ink is going to be deposited. Pardon me. This will be like a chrome, I guess. Now I'm going to take my colorless blender and smudge around on here a little bit and go over the white. And my yellow, where the light is, I'm gonna do a little more with my colorless blender down there. All right. I'm going to take my yellow ochre pencil and I'm just going to darken up kind of along the seam here. I'm not going to underline that because we're trying to show shadow from the shade, not try and circle the light. And then I'm going to take my white pencil, and with the side, I'm just gonna sort of texturize this a little bit. And on the marker paper, you know, that's not gonna show up like super great, but it will give give you a little texture and whiten it up a little bit. I'm going to take my black pencil, and at this point you may want a straight edge. I'm going to do these. And then since chrome reflects, I'm going to actually reflect those into the chrome shade top here. All right, so there's that. Next, I'm going to move on to this, I don't know what I call it, like a bar light or a pool table light. And we have so many greens, I was just asking you to choose a light and a medium green. You don't need a real dark one. Your 70% gray, and then Deco Yellow or Y003. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take my Deco Yellow and color in this. And notice I'm going over the perceived line because it's light, it's not an actual structure. Then I'm going to take my light green and pretty much color everything in. I'm going to take my medium green, and I'm going to sort of go in on the edges a little bit, letting the brightness kind of come out in the middle. I'm going to blend that out with the light green again. Give that a little second to dry, and then with my straight edge, I'm going to just tidy up the outline of the shape with my dark green, or medium green, sorry. All right, so then with my green pencil, and I apologize. I forgot my green pencil at school, so I'm just going to use brown, but you should use green. You can further shore up little parts of the structure just to make it more crisp. But again, don't outline the whole thing. That doesn't usually work in our favor. But I will do the top here, just because that's a little bit messy there. So using your pencil can help really tidy up anything that looks like a little bit wonky. So then I'm going to take my 70% gray and I'm going to do these sort of attachments. And depending on your placement in your cafe, you may have to show where these connect to the ceiling. Or if it's, you know, that's not in your view, then you wouldn't. So I just did this one connected to the ceiling, but you'll figure out yours. Okay, I'm gonna move on to these recess lights, where you're going to need 50% gray, Deco Yellow or Y411, and your black and yellow ochre pencil. And also, I didn't write that on here, but your white pencil too. All right, so I'm taking my 50% gray, and I'm just going to color in the shadow. I'm going to take my yellow and color the light. I'm going to take my yellow ochre pencil and sort of just add it into the corners here. And then I'm going to take my white pencil and I'm just going to smudge around on this whole thing with the side of the pencil. And then with my black pencil, I'm going to come in and tighten up the form a little bit, but not all the way, right? We're not doing full contour lines. We don't want this to look cartoonish. And this is the shadow up on the ceiling, so we're not trying to outline that or have it be super precise. Okay. So now I'm going to move on to the lantern. And for this one, you're going to need 70% gray, poppy red, peach, Deco Yellow, or R317, R105, and Y003, and your black pencil. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my light, my lightest part, which would be in this area. I'm doing that with my yellow. Then I'm going to take my darkest red, which, you know, whichever one is your darkest. Sorry, I should have had this ready. Okay. And I'm going to go on the outside edge. And then I'm just bringing a few of kind of natural looking lines where the paper folds are happening, but not all the way across. And then I'm not going to go into the yellow, but I'm going to take my medium red, whichever one that is of yours, and I'm going to color in here. Then I'm just going to blend it all out with my yellow. Get my streamers in here. I'm going to take my 70% gray, and I'm going to draw a little design on here. If you're doing these, and I know several of you are, and you don't know Chinese, I would caution against putting up fake Chinese symbols. That's a little weird. And just maybe do a pattern or a design or something. Okay. I'm going to take my black pencil and tighten up these branches from this little tree that I have going here. And I forgot to tell you to have your red pencil handy, but we need that. So we can go just across here and make more of those folds. And you can also kind of differentiate the spaces here. Okay. I didn't tell you to get this out because I didn't ask you to get this, but whether you're in class or if you have one on your own, this is a good place to use the gel pen. I would say use the gel pen very sparingly. So there's your lantern. You can obviously do these in whatever color you want. Okay, so I know a couple of you are also doing string lights. So I'll show you how to do those. You'll need your 50% gray or 70% gray. If you have black, use that instead of 70% gray, but both will work. Your colorless blender, goldenrod or Y325, and your black and white pencil. Okay, first I'm going to take my 50% gray and color in the strings. a little sloppy there. All right, so remember, this top one is the closest one to us. So those lights will be bigger. These will be a little smaller and a little smaller. And also, notice I didn't make a full circle for the bulb, just like a little half circle. Again, avoiding contours. Now I'm going to take I'm going to use black, but you can take your 70% gray if you don't have black. And I'm not going to go totally over that line, so I'm going to use my little fine point just to make it seem like it has a little bit of dimension. I'll go over these two, but I'm not going to color them totally in. I'll take my goldenrod or my Y325 and just put a little bit of a color up at the top of the bulb here. I'll take a colorless blender and just kind of smudge around where the bulb would be. And then my white pencil, kind of smudge around where I just put the colorless blender down. And then finally with my black pencil, I'll just do kind of a half circle to show the roundness. There you go.